Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a man in danger of losing his job. Just 9 months ago, Solskjaer was celebrating a remarkable comeback against PSG to qualify for the quarter-finals of the Champions League. This, combined with a dramatic upturn in Premier League form, saw the baby-faced assassin appointed Man United's permanent manager. Fast forward to today, and the only thing which remains is Solskjaer's upbeat attitude. An attitude that was once much loved, yet is now beginning to wind up some Man United fans, especially with a measly record of winning just 27% of games since receiving the permanent position. So where exactly has it gone wrong for Solskjaer? And is Pochettino the right man for the job? In this video, I'm going to attempt to answer these important questions. But first, I would like to welcome any new viewers to the channel. Here on The 12th Man, I discuss all things football, from the big news to in-depth breakdowns of the tactics during football matches. If you enjoy this type of content and are bored of hearing surface-level punditry on TV, please make sure to subscribe now. How have things gone so wrong for Solskjaer? When the Norwegian took over from Jose Mourinho as interim manager, the team was in disarray, with many players showing signs of discontent. It may sound intuitively wrong to say that this would be a good time to take over as a new manager, yet true at the same time. Under Mourinho, players were miserable and felt constantly constrained. With Solskjaer's positive attitude, the entire mood around the club shifted. This, combined with Solskjaer attempting to introduce a more attackive, expressive style of football, gave a new lease of life to players who previously felt trapped. Without a major squad or tactical overhaul, Solskjaer was able to lift the players. A new manager entering a team and seeing a rapid uptick in performance is common. It is known as the new manager bounce. It is as a result of this that it could be said Solskjaer's job was easier in the first couple of months than many people expected it would be. However, once he put pen to paper and signed his permanent contract, the underlying issues surfaced. A squad lacking in serious quality. A group of players who didn't all suit the same playing style. Individuals lacking in confidence. This is when Solskjaer's ability as a manager would be tested. From this point to the end of last season, the form was dire. However, the feeling remained that Solskjaer had had little chance to correct previous errors made with the team. His real challenge would begin at the start of the 2019-2020 season. Sitting in 10th position before the Tottenham fixture tonight with a goal difference of +4 after 14 games, is inexcusable. Calls for Solskjaer's head are common, especially with Mauricio Pochettino now available having been sacked by Tottenham. A man whose attacking style of play and ability to develop youth seems to fit perfectly with the Manchester United ethos. In fact, with the bookies, Solskjaer now sits as second favourite to be sacked next in the Premier League, only behind Marco Silva of Everton, and Pochettino is the heavy favourite to succeed him. So does Solskjaer deserve the sack? If we look at the Premier League table, the answer would appear so. But let's take a look deeper at the underlying stats and consider other factors. Here we have a table of the expected points. And you can see Man United sit 4th with a tally of 26, 6 points higher than their true total. Even more interestingly, they are only 2 points behind Liverpool's expected points of 28. For those who aren't aware, expected points are derived from your expected goals versus your opponents. Expected goals are the number of goals you'd expect to score in a match and concede based on the chances you create and offer to the opposition. To simplify, expected points tells you roughly how many good chances a team are creating and how many they are conceding. While teams will deviate away from their expected points in the short term, they generally trend towards the average in the long term. So what we're seeing is that Solskjaer's Manchester United are doing well in the underlying statistics, but simply can't convert this into points. The negative opinion people have of Ole Gunnar is beginning to look more harsh. Then you must consider injuries. Man United's squad depth is poor, and that is a very kind way of saying it. After taking the decision to move on the likes of Lukaku and Sanchez over the summer, replacements were needed. Sufficient replacements were never brought in. Now, United must hope that they don't suffer many injuries, as they don't have the depth to replace first-team players. Near the start of the season, Anthony Martial is ruled out through injury, along with Paul Pogba. Of the 3 players who consistently score goals for Manchester United, 2 of them are missing for many weeks, with no replacements sitting on the bench. All hopes lie with Marcus Rashford. A talent, yes, but still only 22 years old. While some have criticised the young Mancunian, the truth is he has netted 7 times and provided 4 assists in the Premier League for a total of 11 goal involvements. This tally is higher than any Liverpool player, with Mane closest on 10. When also considering Rashford's lack of attacking support around him, criticism is clearly unfair. The problem isn't Rashford. The problem is that United's lack of depth results in them relying almost entirely on him. In fact, they are too reliant on only 3 players to contribute goals, in Rashford, Martial and Pogba. With 2 of these 3 sidelined for most of the season so far, it is perhaps no surprise that Solskjaer has struggled. While a surface-level analysis of Manchester United's results since the beginning of this season will tell you that Solskjaer is out of his depth, if you look at the underlying statistics and you combine this with the severe lack of squad depth, plus throw in a few injuries, I would argue that Solskjaer has done a decent job. But the question still remains, should he keep that job or not? This isn't a simple yes or no answer. It all depends who the alternative options are. If Arsene Wenger popped his head into Old Trafford and threw his hat in the ring, I don't think many United fans would want to see Solskjaer leave in favour of the Frenchman. But what about Pochettino? Pochettino, or Poch as he's often known as, is out of employment, has shown himself to be an excellent manager at Tottenham, and fits the criteria for the United ethos perfectly. Ultimately, the decision comes down to a simple question. Who is more likely to lead United back to the top and win their next title sooner? Solskjaer's underlying stats are encouraging, especially given the squad he has, but the results have been shockingly poor. In order to return the team to the top of the league, Solskjaer would need to seriously bolster the team with world-class signings. While the Man United brand name will still draw in some players, its pulling power is waning, and it seems unlikely the world's elite would be happy to buy into the long-term plan of a manager who isn't currently getting good results, and whose previous role was based in the Norwegian league. It looks like a chicken and the egg situation for Solskjaer. He needs world-class players to challenge at the top, but he will struggle to bring in those players until he's able to prove that he can challenge at the top. Pochettino, on the other hand, is a name that is likely to attract top talent, with players potentially happier to buy into his rebuilding process than Solskjaer's. It is for this reason, along with his proven record in the Premier League, that I, as a Manchester United fan myself, believe Pochettino is the right man for the job, even if that means sacking Solskjaer harshly before he has had enough time to show his potential managerial qualities. If you've enjoyed this video and you're new to the channel, welcome to the 12th Man. I discuss all things football, from the big news to in-depth breakdowns of the tactics in specific matches. So if you enjoy this type of content and are bored of hearing surface level punditry on TV, make sure to subscribe now.